Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Power Driven Podcast. If you remember last week, we talked about our race in Montana, how we went there. We put a post up on our Instagram that says we brought 10,000 horsepower to Montana. That was including our tow trucks, the race trucks, all of our trucks, the burnout truck together. We were 10,000 horsepower. And one of you commented and said, hey, you should do a podcast on the tow rigs. What are you towing these trucks with? So we thought, that's a great idea. Let's talk about our tow trucks. Towing is kind of a big part of what we do. And we have some pretty awesome tow trucks, honestly. And well, one's reliable, one's works most of the time. So
this is like the ultimate tow truck podcast.
Yes, not like your standard tow trucks, but we're
not talking ultimate like you go buy from the dealer. We're talking ultimate like a working man's tow truck. Or an enthusiast tow truck.
I wouldn't call. I would do not do my tow truck if you're a working man tow truck. That's a bad idea.
It's a bad choice.
But I do like pulling my big heavy trailer past people on the grades a lot.
Oh my gosh, that's like almost as fun as racing to me. like pulling past like people with old dinky campers or something. Just
just mobbing up this big massive triple axle trailer. You got two trucks on your trailer.
It's so satisfying. Like going up Black Ridge and the people like slowing down to like 65 and like going at the base of a grade and you're like getting into the far left lane.
You're like, what the?
And they're like, what are you doing? Like you're not supposed to be in this lane. I was like, trust me.
I'm in the right lane.
I'm in the correct lane for this job.
Like sometimes I'll get people behind me. I'm like, oh, he's behind, wants to pass, and I'll get over, and he's like. He just gets over behind me, so he lets me know, you don't have to pass. I get back over, and away we go. So I've had that happen before with my big trailer on. He's like, you don't have to get over. Come on back. You're good. I'm like, thanks. So yeah, let's talk about our tow truck. So I guess I'll start a little bit with my truck. My truck is pretty well known on this channel. I've raced muscle cars with it. I'm going to do that next weekend with you, hopefully. And I take it drag racing. It's a good hot rod truck and a little bit of a testing mule for things we do here. And it's a 2006 Mega Cab Dodge, 2500. It's got 20-inch wheels. BMF wheels I like, Nito tires.
Wait, your tow truck is 19 years old? It's 2006?
So. Jeez, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. It's still like the truck, though. It's like, I don't care what you say. Truck. It's the truck. It's awesome. And so, yeah, the Mega Cab is sweet. Having that big back seat's awesome. Like if I tow like by myself, I'll set up a bed back there. I'll fold down the seat and I'll put a bunch of blankets and make a little mattress. I can lay in that back thing crosswise, which is crazy for me.
Mega Cabs are awesome.
So I do love the Mega Cab. So it is awesome. And for the engine, it's got an engine we built here. I built it here. It's got 6-7 blocks, standard bore, 6-7 pistons. I do have the Total Seal gapless rings in there. This is kind of one of our test mules I have in two of my engines. Well, three if you count my race engines.
But it's basically a factory 6-7 Cummins block.
Factory piston,
factory crank.
Yep.
With upgraded rings.
Upgraded rings, rods, cam, valve train.
Upgraded bearings.
It's got H bearings in it. Yep. Clevite H bearings.
14 millimeter main.
And head studs.
Mains and then 14 millimeter head studs.
So that'd be like I guess we call it our stage.
It's kind of like our hot street or stage 2. Well, I guess it would be stage 3 because the head. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have the 14 mil head and mains. And so, but I don't have a girdle on it. It's just the upgraded main studs, and I've had great luck with that. I mean, this is a towing heavy, and I mean, not as heavy as like some people do, but heavy as I want to do. He tows heavier than me. That's true.
You have our stage 2 ported head on there.
Yeah, the same heads on my race truck as on my tow truck, basically. More cam in the race truck.
Valve springs. You're on our 4.5K springs.
Yep, I really liked them. I've had no issues with those 4.5Ks. I've been super happy with those springs.
So a lot of guys ask us, they're like, do I need upgraded retainers for my 6.7? Yes, you can buy upgraded retainers. Your truck does not have you have factory retainers with our 4.5K springs, and it's fine. At some point, if we have upgraded retainers for that spring, you'll probably put them on and test them. But so far, you haven't broken a retainer.
I've been very, very happy like that. And I have the stock rocker arms and everything. There's nothing fancy there.
Upgraded push rods, obviously.
I do have push rods.
Firings.
Yep, and a split, firing in the head, firing in the deck. And so other than, I mean, and obviously.
What about fuel side?
Fuel side. I got some decent fuel, honestly. Mm-hmm. I do have two CP3s. I have a 10 millimeter and a 12 millimeter pump with an industrial injection twin CP3 kit. It's been kind of modified a little bit.
Yeah,
it's like
there's some industrial injection.
There's
parts
some industrial or some power driven. There might be some fleece in the future. Like it's a hodgepodge. We're trying to like, okay, what's the best of all of them and put in there. And the thing I do like that Meyer changed. He actually made the bracket so I can run a factory radiator hose. So if something happens, the thing I didn't like about the industrial is I have a very custom hose. So if something happens on the road, I'm kind of up a creek where now I can go any parts shop in the country and get a radiator hose for 06 Dodge and I'm back on the road. So I was really glad Meyer changed the bracket. We're going to change up the fuel lines a little bit here because I have had some issues with the lines cracking. I've done it twice. I've cracked high pressure lines while driving. So we kind of fixed that a little bit, but we'll get more on that later. But that's the fuel side. I have 200% DDP injectors. They've got they're super mental, so they can handle more pressure, higher pressure than your factory injectors were. But it's a 5.9 rail stuff, and so it just works amazingly well.
And what's your turbos on
Turbos.
that? This is like if you have a 68, I'm sorry, if you have a 6.7 48 truck, these are the towing compounds that you need.
They are. I should make a kit for you guys. Honestly, they're so good. So on the manifold, I have a Borg Warner 467.7.
What manifold do you have?
The Steed Speed T4 second gen swap. Very very common manifold. No gates, just a T4 Steed Speed standard manifold, not a comp. Literally the standard manifold. And I'm running a 467.7 with a 0.90 turbine housing.
You said that so fast, nobody heard.
Okay, the turbine is a Borg Warner 467.7 with a 0.90 divided T4 4.62 inch flange exit.
83 turbines.
So it's a small 83 turbine, 467.
Yes, it is. And I've paired that with a GT55. It's one of our new Aggressor 98s, a 98 millimeter ball bearing turbo. Those are literally weeks away from being released. We've been testing them pretty good. We've had one failure. It was pretty catastrophic, but to be fair, it was pushed way beyond what I designed it to do. But on my truck, as I've designed this turbo to be as quick a swing possible, large turbo for the street, and it's been just phenomenal at that. But I wouldn't put it with 1 million pounds of nitrous.
Yeah,
as a single making big power. So anyway, that's the turbos. And Transmission is one of our
like our 1500 horse transmissions.
Yeah, fat shafts throughout.
Full manual valve body.
We got obviously we do our rollarized planetaries throughout there because all of our transmissions get that, and this one does as well. So the rollarizing makes it just super strong. The full manual valve body is fun. Anytime someone sees my truck and they see the shifter, they're like, "What is that?" I get more comments on the shifter than probably anything. Even when I've been pulled over the policeman, like, "What is that?" And I've got out of tickets because I just started talking about my truck. It's been great. So that shifter is paid for itself. I'll just say that. Okay.
That's a great way of looking at that.
Yes, that's
investment.
Right. That's the best investment I ever made. So
in fact, I asked you one time, you pulled up in the winter and you had a glove on. I'm like, why do you have a glove on?
It's cold.
And he's
winter.
like, the shifter's cold in the winter. I'm like, oh,
it really is.
You think like
a billet aluminum shifter is really cold when it's below zero outside.
Absolutely. Like I had a driving glove too, just one.
Yep, just the one.
Steering wheel hand, no problem, but that cold aluminum shifter,
frigid.
And sometimes if it's in the sun, it's too hot to touch, like in the summertime. So you got to it comes with the cost. Okay, you just got to be willing. You got to work around this a little bit, but it makes the trunk so fun, and it makes it so it's very easy to run these turbos on the street. Honestly, these turbos work so good. And with his head and the engine size and everything, I don't think you need something special, but it certainly helps. And so with that, it's just some traction bars for traction. I put a big fuel tank in there, which is nice. I got a 50-gallon, tank so I can actually go somewhere. Does not get the best mileage, but it gets decent towing. I was like 9.5 towing. That's a big triple axle, tall trailer. I got a really tall trailer so I can walk around in it. So my trailer is quite tall compared to yours. And yeah, Mobs, what about you, Meyer? You tow the heaviest of us all.
Yeah. So I also have a 6.7. It's a 68 truck.
So it means you got a 6-speed transmission.
Six-speed transmission. And I love that 68. Like that's kind of what started the whole 68 program. I was like, dude, this thing is awesome. I want to see what I can do with it. But it's got a VGT turbo on the manifold with one of our 480s on the atmosphere.
That's our new VGT 63, right?
Yep. That's
also a couple of weeks. We got new turbos coming out, really fun. So that's really cool because we've got the billet actuator.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks about the VGT turbos
is the actuators suck. I've gone through, I think it was on my second or third actuator.
Yeah.
Just being in compounds, like you're asking it to work under a lot of drive pressure. And so when that actuator is trying to work, when you're making, call it 90 pounds of drive, it hurts. It overheats them. It hurts them. And so now I got that billet one on there and it's been great.
Yeah.
So far, zero issues. And I would say it's lasted longer than the first two actuators. I don't know if it's lasted as long as the third one yet, but like
it's been awesome.
It's on par to do it.
And we got the same turbo on Josh's tow truck he went to UCC with.
Yep, and he was super happy with that as
yeah.
well. So yeah, this turbo's it's working great.
Yeah, so
We've got a lot of them in running and
Testing and
So
stuff.
if you have a VGT platform and you decide compounds to make your tow truck awesome, you probably should be looking at getting a turbo with a billet actuator.
Well, even
on
like the
there.
exhaust
Keep
brake
that
before,
alive.
like even on Josh's, it has a stronger actuator, so it actually has a stronger exhaust brake. It can actually push them back harder and release better. So there's a lot of benefits, and they tend not to break, which is super nice.
That's probably my favorite part for sure. But yeah, so it's a VGT 480 setup. Engine's also built. It's got 14 mil bottom end with Street Fighters, just factory OEM pistons.
Is it 12 millimeter fasteners on the top?
12 mil? Yep.
So that'd be just like our stage 2 block or kind of hot street block.
Yep. So yeah, it's got the same piston wall and everything. Yeah. So it's kind of like right there. And then just basic. I think it's got 1.8 220 cam. So like a Colt stage 4-ish cam. And then just same valve train, like stock rockers, power driven push rods, 4.5 Ks. They work great. Haven't had issues with them. It pushes decent power, but what's awesome about it is I can tow with to me, it seems like I can tow with an outrageous amount of power. Like it.
Yeah. The speeds you tow that trailer, I'm like, this is I'm just watching. I get behind you just watching. I'm like, how?
It's like, and I haven't scaled it for obvious reasons, but I think my math, because I know what the race trucks weigh, I know what the truck and trailer weigh empty. I'm about between 30 and 32,000 pounds going down the road, and it's just,
32,000 pounds, 8% grade, still can do the speed limit. 9% grade, still can do the speed
I don't know
limit.
about, I don't, yeah.
Nice, pretty steep.
That's pretty steep, but still, I'm
That
passing
little road we came up in Billings was, no, it said 8% on sign, 8% grade.
that coming out of
That
Billings?
little one right out of town. It's the warning sign said 8%.
I was getting the speed on that. I was like, oh crap, I'm speeding. Because it's like a stoplight right at the bottom. You
Yeah.
have to like accelerate up into the hill.
Yeah.
I was like, got up to the top. I was getting like halfway up or 3/4 of the way up, and I was like, oh, I'm going 60. I think the sign said 45. Yeah, and what's awesome is like not only does the engine make the power and hold the power, the newer radiators just keep it cool. Like it's able to do it. That's another thing too, is that if you make a lot of boost, it really heat soaks the radiator because your intercooler's in front of your radiator. If you ever like look at your intake air temps with the AC on, like they go up. Well, when you have an intercooler, that's way more heat than a stinking AC condenser.
It's going into your radiator.
And now that's going into your radiator. And so by keeping boost down with just like good flowing head, cam, like the compounds, like you get mismatched size of compounds, your boost is really high, your EGTs are really low, awesome, but now you've poisoned your radiator. And that's the first point. Like that's the issue with my truck, is that the radiator is the first thing to get heat soaked and be an issue. And like I have to really freaking push it in like the middle of the day, a hot summer day, for that to happen. But it tows really, really well. And what's also awesome about it is that the 68, like I have it doing lock shifts. It locks in second, kind of early. It locks at like 1200 RPM. And so I really need to push that out a little bit. I just haven't gotten around to it, but yeah, it locks early in second and it just stays locked the whole time.
Even when you're towing.
Oh yeah, especially when towing. Like unlock converters are for the birds. But yeah, so like, and I have a tow tune that makes, a good amount. And going and just pulling up, like if you got an on-ramp that's up a hill or something, like not a problem. It gets up to like your 27 or 25, 2700 RPM, lock shifts down again and just keeps doing the cycle until you're up to 80. Like it's awesome. It's actually a lot of fun to tow with.
That 6-speed, I am jealous of when you tow. Like I do know, I definitely have bigger gaps between my gears.
Oh yeah. And fifth gear is awesome.
Yeah. So do you stay in 5th gear when you tow, or do you actually go to 6th? A lot of people say they never go to over 6th gear.
So the right answer is always going to be to downshift. I don't do that though. If I can't pull the hill in 6th, which isn't very common, I will pop it down to 5th. But otherwise,
you do tow in 6th.
Yeah, as long as I can, if I think I have enough power to do it in 6th at like 1800 RPM, I'll just do it. But if I don't, then I'll bop it down to 5th or something, and then continue on. Yeah. But yeah, no, I tow in 6th all the time.
So Meyer's done a lot of 68 development on this truck, and like I said,
I've had
heavy weights.
Yeah,
he's got big tires. What tires do you have now? They're 20-inch rims.
Yeah, I want to say they're like
35s?
They're not. They're like 34 or like 33 and a half or something like that.
No, they're bigger than 33 and a half. Either way, they're not small. They're not the hugest thing in the world. They're not like, huge, but they're definitely big size. And you have what's your gear ratio?
It's a 373 truck.
373.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have these crazy big gears, and so
No.
the fact that you've been able to figure this out on a 6-speed has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of a testament to what a 68 RFE is capable of.
Can actually do.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's been fun to watch. And like I say, I am jealous of that 6-speed. Only when I'm towing. Otherwise, I do like the 4-speed manual.
Oh, dude, I have my full manual valve body truck. When I want to shift gears, like it's there. But like having the 6-speed just do lock shifts everywhere I go, and just like I don't like listening to my engine rap out obnoxiously high. Like
now, you control this weight. How do you slow it down though? That's where I'm like
exhaust brake.
Exhaust brake. Did you find a way to make your exhaust brake stronger than stock?
On my old turbo, I did.
Ridiculously strong. Even now, it's strong.
So on my old turbo, I did modify it to make it so it hit stronger than stock. But that was kind of like a tuning issue, trying to get it to not over exhaust brake. And so I just took a box stock PDD charger and put it on now, and that's what I have. So it's a little stronger than stock, but it's not as crazy as it was. And now it just works, which is great. But yeah.
When you ride in Meyer's truck, like he says, it's locked all the time. And so when he's coming to a stop sign, you're going to think he's on the brakes because it stops so hard, but it's not. He'll never have to replace the brakes in that truck ever because he never uses them.
I mean, when you get going, you get like an 8% grade going downhill. I do touch them every once in a while.
So in like the next 20 years, you may have to replace your pads.
Maybe, but no. And like, it's kind of like it's a combination of all the things that you're not supposed to do. Like, locking up early, lock shifts in every gear, towing with the wrong gear ratios, towing way too heavy, towing in 6, towing with way too much power. It's like
all the things you shouldn't do the 60. I'm like, I think I can figure this out.
I feel obligated. I have to test it, right?
Yes.
That's how I justify it to myself. Yes. I need to test this. I need to thoroughly test this. And it does it. It's awesome.
Yes.
And you run into issues here and there with different problems, and you just figure out solutions.
No, what about chassis setup? If you have this much weight on there, obviously the factory leaf springs aren't getting the job done. Is it a 2500 or 3500 truck?
It's a 2500 truck.
2500. So how are you keeping the rear? I mean, you're gooseneck, but do you have airbags? What are you doing?
Yep, I have airbags. And so
a lot of guys don't know that's one of the big keys to towing.
I do on mine as well.
Comfortable. Yep. You have airbags on yours. I have airbags on mine. You need airbags.
Airbags is huge. Which
otherwise your headlights are shooting up into the sky when you're towing at night. I mean, you need to get that butt off the
truck
ground.
just doesn't handle well when the nose is high like that. It darts around. Just to the point when I used to tow with my second gen, everybody would put a leveling kit and lift their front with those little pucks. And I never did it. My trucks looked ugly because when I put a trailer, then they would be flatter because I didn't have airbags back then. And if you put leveling pucks and then put a trailer on, a second gen is like death handling. It's terrible. But if you leave it with the factory rake and then put a trailer on, it's not as bad. Unmanageable. But same thing, airbags, huge, important.
Yeah, really nice.
There's a reason a lot of trucks have them. There's a reason a lot of performance shops recommend. It's not just an easy, quick buck for them. They really do make a big difference.
Yeah, it is fun to watch your truck. You put the trailer on there, squat, you pump them up, and just the butt just rises.
Like it's being overworked.
And you don't have an air compressor, right? Yours are just manual. Yours are manual.
Yeah,
mine too.
So I'm fairly confident that's a change I'm making pretty shortly. Is I want one that I can kind of just hit a button and it's going to fill them up, because I do enough because mine's a gooseneck. These guys are bumper poles with the weight distribution hitch. Whenever we go to an event, my truck's the one that comes off the trailer and then it rides like crap and I get to hear about it. And so, yeah, if I could just air it down easily, air it back up easily, that'd be nice. I tow that truck a lot. And so it'd just be nice. So that's probably something I'm going to do. But yeah, I have like a little Milwaukee air compressor and I just put it in the back seat and that's how I air up the bags when I need them. And it works. But for a truck that you're constantly connecting, disconnecting, I think I'm going to go to like an onboard pump system.
That would be cool. So, when we tow, like, hills are almost a non-issue for me. Like Meyer said, the really thing I'm watching when I'm going up hills, like we just pulled back from Montana and it was like 95 degrees in the afternoon. It was hot.
Yeah, it was.
Up those grades, the only issue I had, what I was watching, was engine coolant temperature. Mm-hmm. Like I could control EGT at whatever speed was posted easily, plus a few mile an hour possibly. But overdrive, locked up, never had to downshift, stuff like that. EGT was never my issue.
You never downshifted? Not at once? Like unless you started going too slow or something.
It was only speed related. I never downshifted because of a grade.
Yeah.
No.
I did.
Yeah.
I think
But you're
twice.
towing 2 trucks. I'm towing 1.
Yeah.
And so I'd never had a downshift from the grade, but oftentimes I had downshift because I was coming up the grade and I had turns that were too tight and I had to slam on my brakes to make the turn going up the grade. I was like, whoa, that's a pretty sharp turn. I better slow down. And so that happened more than once. And then I downshift. Then I lost a lot of speed and I had to downshift because I was like doing way under the mile an hour. But as far as grade wise, no, I never had to. And the only reason that I would ever like slow down was simply engine coolant temperature. When we got towards the evening hours and it dropped 20 degrees, then that no longer was an issue.
Yeah.
So just
I never let out because of the engine coolant temperature. I was really my tune is probably a little more conservative than you. Like I ran out of power in that tow tune.
I never used full power of my tow tune.
Now my trucks, I don't have compound turbos like either of you two, and so I'm the low power tow truck of the group. I mean, mine's basically a stock truck, with a little bit of tuning in it, so to speak.
But you have upgraded turbo as well. You also have the VGT 63.
But I do have but mine's just a 60 compressor, I think, right, with a big turbine, or did we put a big compressor on mine too?
No, that we put the newest latest
full
gears
turbo
in there.
Yeah,
so mine's
your old one was, but this new one is
I
box
forgot.
stock.
So this is a new PDD. Okay, I didn't even remember which turbo you guys had thrown in there.
I did. You're welcome.
I get the blind test.
You like left me.
So I don't have any bias.
You like left me the keys for 2 weeks and you got it back. You're like, wow, this is so much better. You're welcome.
But yeah, I tow in 6th too the whole time. The only time I go to 5th is if I run out of power on a grade, and I don't even have head studs. I still have the factory head, and I hit 300,000 miles on this drive.
Ooh.
And when those EGTs are up there, I'm like, man, is this going to drop a valve seat
Today's
or blow
the day.
a freeze plug? Is this the time? And so a couple of times I started getting nervous and started backing out of the throttle. I remember one time we're coming back into Utah, you kind of like shrugged and you went by me as you went past.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Well,
Let's
my
go.
EGT was at 1400, and I was like, it had just touched 14, and everything was pretty hot, and the trans was hot and everything. And I was like, I probably shouldn't push it this hard.
Yeah.
It's not that important to get home that fast. I'd rather get home.
Yeah, and I
so
come
I
up and
backed
pass
off
you
a
like,
little.
Are you okay?
Are you okay over there? What's going on? You okay? And you're
So
like,
I backed it off and put it in 5th gear so that it would run, in the
I'm like, I'm not getting this
mid-13s.
off cruise control. No, I'm passing you.
But my coolant temp would be
I will
fine.
not push cans. I will not touch these brakes.
But like I'm like, 20 pounds of boost. If I floor it all the way, my truck makes about 26 pounds of boost. But yeah. Anyway, so that was a couple times there, but yeah, exhaust brake is awesome. 6-speed's awesome. But my trailer's only maybe 12,000 pounds, fully loaded. So I'm not pulling
12,000 fully loaded.
Yeah.
That's my empty weight. Not quite, but close.
Yeah. Yeah, my Metro's a little heavier. I got another axle, it's a little taller, a little longer.
I mean, you're probably in that 14.5 range.
Plus truck. So I'm probably in the low 20s total.
And my trailer's, I think, around 12. So I'm probably right there, about 20,000 total.
Yeah.
But
not like the big dog over here. 30 plus.
Yeah, big difference. But I had 0 cooling problems on my truck. My 3rd gen cools great.
I didn't have problems. Like I never got hot. I just didn't want it to get hot. I think I would like, if I got to 225 on my engine coolant temperature, which is nothing crazy, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to chill a little bit here and let it cool off a little bit. Like 230, 240. I mean, it doesn't even go red till 245, but
I'd say the best upgrade I made on my tow truck was one time we were towing back in close trailer, and there's a lot of wind in Utah, and we were in this bad crosswind, and it just kept rocking the truck. Well, eventually it started getting like scary where it's hard to keep it on the highway. I had to slow down to probably 65 in an 80 zone because it just didn't feel safe to go that fast. And we didn't have a lot of weight in the trailer. That's when we brought back that McCamus Pro Mod chassis.
Yeah.
And when I got home, I figured out that during that section of I-70, the sway bar end link had broke on the front. And so we'd lost the sway bar. And so I had tons of body roll plus the wind going that way. And that's why it was so sketchy. So anyways, I fixed that, and then I put a Hellwig heavy duty rear sway bar in there. And I noticed when we got in the wind, I swear you slowed down a couple times and I saw you all over. And my truck was solid. Like I felt like I could have went 100 in that crosswind.
So I might should upgrade my sway bars, huh?
So I don't know if you have a rear sway bar in yours, but when I added a sway in the rear plus just a functional factory front, huge help on the tow truck. So
one thing I've done I really like is I have upgraded the brakes on mine. I got some pretty decent brakes on there. Like,
oh, that's huge.
yeah, like
there was a
rotors and pads.
Dude, there was a couple, like we were going through Salt Lake, and I don't know what the H people were doing ahead of us.
That traffic was rough.
They just like, we were just going, and then they just freaking slam on the brakes. And I'm like, I have to bring 30,000 pounds to a stop, like basically to a stop.
Yeah.
And then I try to like give myself some distance, and people are cutting into it. I'm like, how do I do this?
And then then they'll stop short and then lose your following distance.
Yeah.
So it's like there was no right. There's a couple times I hit the brakes so hard, I heard my front tires lock up, and I was like, because you know,
oh yeah,
I was just like, oh my gosh,
I heard screeching.
Crazy.
I don't know what was screeching, which ones were screeching. I was just trying to come to a stop as fast as possible. So much so that the freaking straps on my shorty broke and freaking ran into the back of my race truck. I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah,
freaking drivers, bro. Respect the weight, okay? Like,
but that being said, respect the weight. Like that's one thing a tow truck needs. Like it's fun to talk about power. I can rip up a hill 80 miles an hour, no problem. All that stuff. That's all fun. None of it matters when you need brakes if you don't have brakes. If you haven't put money into stopping, nothing else matters. It'll go away. So I'd say, and that's another thing I'm super jealous about. You two both having that exhaust brake. I do not have one. My truck's got pretty good brakes, and so I got good brakes in my truck. But being able to control the load towing, as anybody who tows knows, is really the most important thing. Like, way more important than power. Way more important than anything. It's all fun and games. So all of a sudden you're like, I'm not gonna be able to stop. This is a problem.
Yeah, there's two things I have learned with tow trucks that I just like not even a question anymore. Like I'll put money into it. Brakes and headlights.
Yes,
because being able to see what you're doing
at night,
also very important, especially when you don't have the stopping distance.
Yeah,
like I mean, something is dumb. I didn't know this because growing up, my dad we didn't have nice trucks and haul heavy. I didn't know anything about it. Weight distribution hitch. I didn't know anything about that until I saw, I'd heard of them, but I didn't even know how they worked until I saw your truck swaying really hard without it. And after I put a weight distribution hitch, now I can haul this great big trailer, and it hauls just like my little car hauling trailer. It feels nimble.
Also, the anti-sway hitches. Like they have those friction. There's a couple different versions out there. We each have a different version of it on our trailers. But getting a hitch, like this is more for bumper pull stuff than for like your
gooseneck. When you're a superior trailer design, you don't need this poverty crap they're talking about.
You just to haul around a stupid ball in your bed everywhere you go.
You can flip it around.
I know, but it's still there. Like, anyway.
You're not going to win this.
He raises a good point. But for those of us who are lame and don't have goosenecks.
Exactly.
The anti-sway control actually makes a big difference. I was really happy with that. Like that made a big difference for mine as well. So those are big things in the hitches. The hitches are heavy. And I hate putting them on my truck or putting them in there.
It feels like it breaks your back when you do it. But yeah, that made a huge difference on the tow truck for sure. I did want to share one fun story I had because as I was following you through, I can't say the state because, for legal reasons, but we were in this, it was like big, wide open, spacious skies as I was following you. And we were going in this road construction at night. And
knew that was coming.
We're going this road construction at night, and it drops us down a single lane, 45 mile an hour. And you're going, and it looked like a little dinky Subaru, but after we got up closer, I actually found out it was a Kia. So this little Kia Sportage SUV, and they're driving in front of you. And then we get out in the where it goes back to 2 lanes, and you're following them, and I'm following you. So I'm watching this, and this little car is in the left lane, and you stayed in the left lane to pass them. And finally, they go in the right lane. Take that back. You went to the right lane because they're going too slow, and then they're like, "Nuh-uh, this ain't happening."
Oh yeah, they sped up,
and then they sped up, and Todd pulling his big trailer starts having like this little drag race with him, and I don't even think Todd knew he was racing. He was just accelerating normally.
I'm gonna get up.
And this little Kia is doing all it can, and it's sitting up there. And next thing you know, we're up to the speed limit's 80, and I won't see where we got, but pretty soon we're going more, and this little Kia is all it can do, and it finally can't keep up, and finally it just gives up. And it tucks in behind him.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to stay with my group, trying to stay with Todd. And so I'm in the left lane. And so I go and he kind of looks over at me and he kind of starts speeding up and I slowly creep around him. And, I've only got about 500 horsepower. So it's not quite like yours, but I still pass him. And then I look in the rear view and by the time Meyer comes up, the Kia had just given up. And Meyer just goes right by. And so this poor little Kia in the middle of the night just gets gapped by 3 trucks in a row. And I'm like, they're probably not used to, because the kind of guys that haul these big trailers, they're hot shotters. They're usually going under the speed limit, trying to get fuel mileage. And all of a sudden they're getting bam, bam. Just,
it's so super common. You get people like passenger cars or trucks or whatever beside you that are empty or whatever, and you know what you're about to do. You're about to maintain the speed limit, but you could see them trying to get around you and like pulling out and like they're getting ready for you to slow down, and then like you don't. and then so like I had one guy that just like tried to get around me and then try to start passing me. I don't know why he sped up before the grade, but whatever. And I was like, okay, I don't care. And then about a quarter way up the grade, he started maintaining, and then about quarter way a little further, he started losing.
Yeah, you just motor up the hill.
See ya.
Yeah, that is fun. I mean, that happens
so
a lot.
much
They'll
fun.
come next to you in the hill,
It's bad.
and all of a sudden they start losing the hill, and you just keep on pulling. It's like, well, you should have diesel, man. I don't tell you, but yeah, I mean, it happens all the time because here's a slow truck, so they come up next to you, he'll get steep, they start to fade, you keep on going, and it is fun, and hopefully got brakes for the downhill.
There was a 5th gen Dodge we passed Dooley, and he was pulling this little aluminum bass fishing boat. And this is near Yellowstone, and we're, going through the Big Sky State, and we're on a downhill and I'm going slow because I'm being careful, and he goes ripping by me. And then we get on the hill and he kind of looks over at me and I pass him on the hill pulling this big old, and he's just sitting there, but that it probably had a speed limiter at 80 or 85 on that, like 3,500. And poor guy, he's just towing this little boat in his brand new fancy truck and his $100,000 bass boat. And here comes this.
I can only imagine what people are thinking. Like, I'd love to like come up with ideas of what they're thinking, but then, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, because
like maybe they're just that oblivious. I don't know.
We were coming out of a gas station somewhere. It's got a brand new Duramax, beautiful Duramax, truck and a big trailer. And he got on the freeway in front of me, and I just come ripping around him like nothing, Because I mean, I wasn't like racing. I was like, "Let's go, man!" And the passing lane's open. Okay, I'm gonna go. And I'm not like racing. I'm just driving. And I come past, and he just looked at me. He's like, as I go past, he's just watching me go by. And I'm like, sorry, this old truck just works good. So I hope you enjoy your brand new vehicle. Obviously, he doesn't know what's in there. He's just like, what the heck? Because I mean, he's got a good camper on there, but he's getting passed by a tall triple axle, super long. It's like, what's going on here? So.
But I'll say, having towed in underpowered vehicles and over, I would much rather have a turned up truck for towing that has power. It's easier to get out of bad situations.
Yeah.
It's way easier to pass. It's way easier to not be worried about planning downshifts on the hills and blocking traffic. And sometimes you're going up a hill and you need to run at it, and a semi decides he's going to pass the other semi. You get slowed down to 40. Well, if it's a long hill and you don't have any power, you're going to be just kind of stuck there holding up all the traffic, and people are honking. Having some power, you can just, it's almost like you're a passenger car. You can, so the power is very helpful. It's not just, but the brakes, I would say, are more important than the power for sure. The sway control, I think, is important. The right hitch is important. But beyond that, I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, I used to tow with my 2nd gen Dodge with compounds and I loved it. The frame is stiffer on a 3rd gen. The brakes are better. It handles the load better. The exhaust brake is awesome. It's just like, and you can put a lot of stuff on a 2nd gen, good brakes. You can put sway bars to help. But at the end of the day, getting into anything, I'd say like 2003 and newer, in my experience, has been a big upgrade in towing.
When you just look at that radiator, you look at the intercooler, they're so much larger than that. They really upgraded the size big time, and you just can't put that physically in your 2nd gen. And so
and the new trucks, I could drove a 5th gen of Josh's with a big trailer, and it was amazingly stable. I was impressed, but I also was like, it's lacking power. And but that time, it's like when you can't touch the tuning and power on these new trucks, that's where I'd be more, led into these like, early 07 and older trucks where you can tune them easily, add power easily, and
it is interesting. But The new ones are amazing. They, like you say, they're so capable, and I don't think anything bad about them. I love looking at them as I'm passing them up hills. Like, they're beautiful trucks. I get a good look from the back to the front. Look in the rearview mirror; they're still there. Oh, that's a really pretty grill you got there, dude. And away I go.
They don't need to upgrade their brakes or their airbags. They probably have
they work.
great,
They work. They
everything.
work well. They work well.
except they lack horsepower.
But if you took it to an event, we wouldn't be putting posts of 10,000 horsepower in Montana. Here we go.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I do love my truck. It's great. It's not the most reliable tow truck. So I mean, I talk about it a lot.
We keep making jokes about not the most reliable tow truck. What's dumb is the dumb issues you have.
Yeah, like you wouldn't expect.
Most of your issues you had early on were because algae in the tank, which happens with anything.
Yeah, so it's not the truck's fault.
You've cracked a couple dual CP3 lines, which, sure, bigger injectors will work it's like causes more pulsing in the lines, could cause more problems, but it's not the rail to the injector, it's the rail to the pump.
Yep.
So I would say that's less of an effect. And like, it's the same dual CP3 kit that a lot of people are running.
Yeah.
So like, what else have you had like fail while you're towing? Like
nothing. It's always been fuel related side. I've never had turbo trends, engine issues. I've had the algae would plug up fuel filters. And then I had a break in a high pressure line, and then you have no high pressure.
So it's
really,
like,
I mean, when I say unreliable, that is probably not fair. I've had some weird gremlins that just are.
And that's why like we keep going back. It's like, you know, like if you were snapping intermediates or input shafts or breaking cranks or melting pistons or something like, oh yeah, you know, 1,500 horse tow truck, like that's probably not the smartest thing. But you keep breaking dumb things.
Yeah, the things that break are not related to, like, I could melt that thing down, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I would not hand the keys to that and say, go, good luck. No. Like, I definitely am very smart the way I drive it.
You say that, but I feel like
yet you have to tell me.
Following you, I think you need to work on not just stabbing the throttle.
I don't. I push resume.
I was like, dude, this guy needs to learn his throttle control. This is terrible.
Yeah, like, no.
I was like, if you can't do it, I will make the tune do it. Like, stop. It's just like puff.
You gotta let the turbo spool up. Yeah.
But anyway,
I like the resume button.
That makes more sense. That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's funny is I'm so conservative. I don't hit the resume button when I'm towing because I feel like it's putting more power into the truck than I need to reasonably get up to speed. And I don't want to I'm always like more timid when I'm towing, trying to just baby it more.
My resume's not, I mean, when I had my second gen, my resume was very aggressive. On this particular, the tow tune, it's a little puff and it's clean. It's not like grinding or roaring, you know what I mean? It's actually pretty good.
I don't know how yours is, but the newer trucks, like the second gens, they just pour the power to it until it's up to speed. I think the newer trucks do a much better job of slowly ramping in the power. Yeah. Like I can use resume no problem. As long as, I don't know if I'd do it if I was 10 under, but you know,
a
couple 5 mile an hour under it smooths out. And I think it can see you accelerating fast enough.
5 under is fine. If I'm like 15 under and hit resume,
I wouldn't.
I don't like it.
I've done that in the big tune while towing. I was like,
whoa, it's like a burnout as you're pulling the trailer.
No burnout. I was in 6, but yeah, it was
like, oh dear,
that just did 4 digits.
Yeah, in 6th gear, locked up.
Yeah,
so
little torque.
Anyway, I don't remember talking about, but yeah, like I say, the new trucks. I guess we're talking about how capable they are, and they are. But I do like my truck. I'm never jealous of another truck I see on the road. Especially as I'm passing it. Like I said. That's just me. I don't blame anybody for a new truck. They are beautiful, and someday maybe I'll get one. I don't know, but I just like what I got. So
it works good. Like following your truck and just like how clean it runs, and I just know you're in 4th gear all the time.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Every once in a while when I'm downshifting, I was like, Todd's not downshifting right now. I was like, no way.
Cruise control on, sipping a soda.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Anyway, honestly, other than that, like stock transfer case, stock axles, there's nothing really fancy there. I'm a 373.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably a 373 axle range.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, so nothing weird there. Sometimes I wish I had like a 354 because I would like lower cruising RPMs, but when I tow, I actually don't because it's really, really happy at about 2,400 RPM, which is right a little over 80. I'll drop 100 degrees versus 2,250 RPM.
Now, this isn't our drivetrain episode, but if it was, they don't have 354 for AM, but they have a 342.
Yes. That'd be even way. But
someone's going to correct us in the comments. We do know that AM has different ratios.
I just had 354s in my second gen. Now I'm 373s, and so that's what I compared to. I've
But
never
you
had
would like the 342 AAM gears in
I
your
probably wouldn't.
So tall though.
I probably wouldn't with the 4-speed. I think that first gear would be pretty high.
Yeah. That's
That'd
where
be
the
better
68's so awesome is because, I have 373s and I can cruise at like 80 is 1800 RPM. I can just do that everywhere. And if it's a small grade, no problem. If it starts getting up to where, I don't know, if it needs a decent amount of power, a downshift, and even at 80, I'm at like 2300, I think.
Yeah, it's even lower than me. Yeah, I'm right. Probably 80 is probably around 23. So you're like my overdrive.
So
your
then,
fifth.
and boom. And then I have, it's been a while since I've hit a grade that fifth won't go up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they are great. So anyway, those are our tow rigs. I don't know, nothing super special. Just, well, I mean, they all have 2 built engines and a stock engine.
Basically,
Compounds
bone
in
stock.
factory. And
I mean, I didn't have
I'm
head
actually like,
studs or anything,
it kind of
so we're very
frustrates me.
conservative.
Like I'm watching you tow, and I'm like, I feel like I'm just the big dog here. I've got this freaking built
trailer.
compounds. Like I'm big dogging, and Will's just like right there in front of me, just doing what he does.
Just going.
I'm like, apparently I'm not that cool.
What's funny is I'm the cylinder head guy. I have access to all the cylinder heads in the world, and I'm like, one of these days I'll put a ported tow head on there.
It's
One
just
of
the
these
work to
days.
do it. Yeah.
And then I'm like, if I put head studs, then we could get more aggressive with tuning on it and all kinds of cool stuff. But at the end of the day,
Actually, let's
what
bring up one more thing. So on mine, because I have a 68, is I have higher pressure, and the early trucks did not come with great transmission coolers. So I added a second transmission cooler to keep the transmission running cooler. That's a lot of coolers. But anyway, and so people ask like, oh, well, how hot can your transmission get? Well, I like watching the transmission temp gauge to get an idea of what's the normal. And so my transmission with the higher pressure and what I'm doing with it generally runs between 90 to 100 above ambient. And so if it's 90 degrees outside, I can basically count on it being between 180, 190. But if it goes down to 60, it's going to run 150, 160. And so those are the like transmission temps that I like. But if you're towing at big power, you should really consider upgrading your transmission cooler.
Yeah.
Todd, what is your transmission temperatures?
I wish I knew, but you won't fix it.
So that's Todd.
What?
You've never had a transmission temperature on that gauge.
No, never worked. I just keep it locked up. I just keep it locked up at all times.
Well, that's pretty impressive. I mean, you have 1,500 horsepower capable trans, and like, I don't want to oversell that either, but like, or undersell it, I guess. But
I got the tune pretty mild. On my tow tune, I'm at 150 psi line pressure.
But like
we
having
did that.
But like, yeah, having a trans that's capable of 1,500, that's like a race transmission.
Yes.
And you're freaking towing cross country with it. And
that's almost
no problem.
It's a little unfair because like what I have in that is not really available to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Really, unless you really know what you're doing. It's kind of pretty, and that's just one of the perks of like owning a shop is we get to try new things. And so the fact that I mean, people could do it if they knew what they're doing. We could also really screw some stuff up if you didn't know what you're doing. So I have the transmission pressure set in that tune. So it's very, very, so I get a ton of cooler flow.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal. That is a big deal, but it is awesome. Like what you're doing with that transmission, like all the issues not all the issues,
should be having.
But you're towing with that much power, and you've broken down a couple times, but never transmission.
Never. But yeah, never transmission.
And then we have Will over here just cooking it at 239.
that was my peak temp on this, 239.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, how high is too high? I was like, well, I wouldn't really want to see like 220. He's like, well, that happened like a while ago.
It's like, what do you think the safe max is? My personal thing I'd set in my mind was like, 240 is probably the danger zone, but I wanted a second opinion. So I called Meyer and he's like, I think anything over 210, I'd be, checking out. I'm like, we're way past that.
I forgot how crappy those coolers are.
Time.
Oh my gosh.
But on the way home, I think I peaked at 224 for just a mile or two, 222, but most of the time it was in that 210 range. But on the way up there, for whatever reason, the traffic or the weather conditions.
It was hot on the way up, and we were like,
so hot.
It got hot in Utah here, where the hills are just freaking rough.
But it never got to 240. But my truck, when I first bought it, I was hauling a tractor up the mountain to some property up in the mountains, and it flashed a trans over temp, went in limp mode, and it said pull over, and it went to a high idle, but it's on a dirt road. So, it was like a rough hill. And after that, I figured out somebody had gotten rid of the factory cooler and had this B&M aftermarket cooler in place of the factory cooler. And we're like, oh, this crappy thing's not as good as a factory one. We put a factory one in, and I've never had an issue since. We go on this trip, and I'm like, huh, I wonder. So we got crawling under the truck.
That's not fair too, because you didn't have any way of monitoring it for a long time, and then we finally put a CTS in your truck, so now you can actually see it for the first time.
Yeah, I've never been able to monitor, but it had never turned on the temp thing, and even on this trip, it never turned on. So I don't know where the temp gauge turns on, but I know on the monitor, the Edge monitor, it said I got to 239.
What temperature it turns on. Let us know.
Sure.
Yeah, we could do some research and find out. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I mean those are the tow trucks. That's kind of, they work well for us. We go around like I do have some issues, but Myers right. They're not ones that should scare somebody. They're just kind of freakish issues that could happen. A cracked line. We got, and Meyer fixed that. He put a little
brace on there, because I envision if he's cracking lines, it's probably from vibration.
Yep.
Like, I mean, big power does add vibration, and maybe that is what it is. But we just put a brace on there just to help prevent the vibration that you'd have. I don't know.
Hopefully that fixes it.
Nothing cracked, so you're fine. But yeah, it's weird.
It is interesting, but overall, it's a great truck. So yeah. So whoever asked that question, thanks for the prompt. Like, we were always looking for ideas to talk about. Our tow trucks are fun. They, like I say, going up hills. I enjoy it. Every hill I find, I'm like, oh, sweet, here comes another one. Rather than like, oh, I don't dread hills. I love hills. And so that's a sign of a good tow truck.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like, oh, here's the new challenge.
And I'll call, what's your EGT right now?
Yeah,
Will?
like Todd
what's
will
yours?
just call.
Todd call each other. Hey,
Myers like, how much booster are you at? I'm like, how many grams per second are you moving? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm at 238. Oh, 240. Oh, I grabbed fifth. I'm now in the 300s.
Oh, dang. Yeah, it's fun to call and brag about stuff and talk about stuff. It's pretty fun.
It's just like, I mean, coming from where I came from, like towing with basically stock VP truck, like, dude, this is so much fun. It's just,
yeah, towing is fun. I don't know why it is.
I can only imagine what people are thinking. Like, and it's probably overhyped. Like, half of them are just probably going on vacation and could care less about your stupid trailer. But in my brain,
I've had many people stop at gas stations and like, what, how, like when I have my camper and motorbikes in back and I'm ripping up Black Ridge, and I've actually had people stop and say, how are you doing what you just did? I'm like, well, let me show you. It's not exactly like, You're
like, I put a 450 dirt bike in conjunction with a factory engine, and we're just
revving. So yeah, I mean, I have had more than one person stop and say, what do you got in this thing? So probably not as many people notice as I think should, but some people do. Everybody should look at this. This is kicking butt, man. Check me out. That's right. Anyway. Well, guys, I hope you enjoy this video of this and our tow trucks. I don't think there's much else to tell. They're great trucks. We love them. And yeah, if you have ideas for this podcast that you think would be interesting to discuss, we'd love to hear them. I hope you enjoyed this and share it with your friends, subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you next time on the Power Driven Podcast.